Hi, everybody. I hope you are doing well. I have not been here for quite a long time, and I apologize. I know I sound yucky because I am once again sick. I have the flu this time. So I apologize about that. I would not, in fact, be going live except for the fact that they have an arrest in the Idaho 4 murders. That was Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, uh, Ethan and Xana in Moscow, Idaho. So they made the arrest about 2:30 this morning, and I've got to tell you straight at the beginning, the very first thing that popped in my head, and it just the tears, I welled up a bit, and it was that today is Maddie and Kaylee's memorial. And the reason that brought tears to my eyes is because Steve Goncalves, the father of Kaylee, and he said he called himself, he said that Maddie was his daughter too. Uh, he said that they would not be doing their um, memorials until after there had been an arrest. And it's sometimes God works in mysterious ways. I remember, I remember with the Oklahoma bombing being so amazed about that Timothy. Gosh, I can't even remember his last name anymore, and I don't care. But the bomber Timothy something, that he actually was caught because a tail light on his car went out. Isn't that something? So, sometimes people say there's no God. Well, maybe you're not paying attention because things happen sometimes that, if you're watching, you think, how else do you explain this? So they're memorialists today. They did get the arrest this morning at let's see. Oh, no, maybe it was yesterday morning on the 29th at 2:30 a.m. He has had a uh, court appearance apparently, and he was arrested in Scranton, Pennsylvania. There's conflicting information on his age. Some news sources are saying 25 years old. The information that I'm finding is showing him to be 28 years old. And hold on, because this is going to make you sick to your stomach. He is a PhD student at in the Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology. Now, apparently, he's originally from Washington. He attended Pullman, Washington. He attended Washington State University. Um, let's see, where I've lost him now. Where's his name? Hold on. I had him. Where'd he go? Sorry, I don't feel good. Here he is. Let's see. And that's really about all. Okay. So so apparently he's 2,200 miles away. When I go to his Facebook page, it seems that he has cleaned everything up. It seems like all of his social media has been cleaned up. Is that what you guys are finding? Let me go back over here. My cousin's daughter was stationed at Oklahoma City. She was in that building that day. She was in the hospital. Oh my goodness, it's terrifying. He had an Elantra. So they knew. No, I did not see that, Jackie. Hey, Cinnamon. Well, he was originally a student at Washington University, which is right there. Um, apparently, he was at University of Pennsylvania. Is that correct? Why do you say, okay, Cinnamon, explain to me. Yes, please do that, Makeup Jackie. Send it to the fools and sages at gmail.com, and I'll go ahead and pull it up right now. University of Washington grad student, 15 minutes away from murder house. Yeah, he was a PhD student there, correct, Jana? Washington State University, Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology, Pullman, Washington. I mean, I can give you his address and his phone number and everything. He's a PhD student. Let's see, address, email address, Brian.Kohberger at WSU.edu. 12. His roommate. Interesting. All right. I'm going to try and, let's see, copy. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. This really has surprised me. Let's see. I hate when I'm looking at something online and I'm live at the same time because I get caught up in what I'm thinking about. I still haven't gotten your email yet. All right, I'm still here. I'm reading. Nope, I still don't have the email. Okay. All right. So, let me share my screen too. He is a brother of a neighbor. Is he Regan's brother? Brian Kohberger is the man's name. You just sent it? Brian Kohberger. Not Burger, Kohberg. Sorry. I'm telling y'all, the sickest I've been. Brian Kohberger. Interesting social media. Let me say shadows of a footprint. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. I'm gonna copy and paste this one. How in the world Were they able to keep this quiet for so long? Hi, okay, so let me share this with you guys. And everybody say, thank you, Jackie. You're amazing, Jackie. We love you, Jackie. All right. Thank you, Makeup with Jackie. Really, I appreciate it. Okay, I want to share. Okay, first of all, I will, first of all, I'll share for you a picture of him. Would that be okay? Here is a photo of him. So this is him. I do have some more photos. This isn't the only one. There are some other photos. But what's so interesting is that y'all, I apologize that my voice, I sound so gross. I know I do. I'm sorry. There are other photos of him, but I wanted to show you what's coming up on Facebook. He has clearly had a place, but he's cleaned it all up. It looks like, see, he's got his, it's listed under real estate. Brian Kohberger, and it's listed under real estate, but it's down to 50 followers. But when you go to the page, it's got 0 followers. So he or someone that knows him has cleaned it all up. There it is. Here, okay, so here's his booking. Let's listen and see what they're saying.
Who is now in police custody. This is
you
Brian
son of a bitch.
Kohberger, who is 28 years old, arrested early this morning in Scranton, Pennsylvania, for the murder of the 4 college students in Moscow, Idaho. He is now under arrest. He is in custody. Ashley, we're going to continue to take a look at this mugshot.
You son of a bitch.
We're also getting more information here. I see we have confirmed that Brian Kohberger is a PhD student covering criminal justice at Washington State University. Again, Brian Kohberger, a PhD student, 28 years old, taken into custody early this morning by investigators in Scranton, Pennsylvania.
You son of a bitch. You horrible. It's not someone named Jason. That's what someone else is reporting. Who's saying that it's someone named Jason? Can you tell me that, please? No, I think we know. I mean, we just listened to a media report. They're pretty definitive about who it is, right? That's News Nation. Yeah, and see, they have been saying that the person was 25. I heard another person say it was 22. The person I'm finding is 28 years old, Brian Kohberger. And he was a criminal justice PhD student. Hey, Brian, notice how I say was, because you're not anymore, jerk. Oh, whoa, 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 holiday roll. Let's read the article. This is News Nation. Suspect was arrested Friday morning in connection. So I'm right. It was this early this morning with brutal November stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students. And please remember, today is Maddie and Kaylee's essential funerals. And the family had said that they would not bury Kaylee until they had an arrest. And this guy was stopped by the police last night, and they arrested him on site in Scranton, Pennsylvania for the murders of the 4. So they have solid evidence. Clearly, the guy took some kind of trophy, and he had it with him. So thank you, God. That's all I've got to say. Federal law enforcement sources confirm 28-year-old Brian Christopher Kohberger was arrested in the early morning hours of Friday. It was at 2:30. The arrest was not made by the FBI. The Moscow Police Department is expected to hold a press conference at 4 that's Eastern time, in the city council chamber to provide the community with an update. News Nation will broadcast the press conference. You nasty piece of, you gross, evil, sociopathic, gross bastard. Oh, look. And just like Billy Joe Howell, oh, look, he's wearing a turtle suit. Yeah, that's a suicide thing vest. The small city of Moscow has been living on the edge, terrified, while waiting for a suspect to be named or caught since Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogen, Xana Kernogle, and Ethan Chapin were found dead on November 13th in a rental home near campus. Police received thousands of tips from the public while they probed the case. Though law enforcement interviewed and cleared a number of people, rumors swirling around the attack led to some people questioning and expressing frustration with the police. In an interview with News Nation's Bryan, Moscow Police Chief James Fry defended his department's work in the first 48 hours of the investigation. I do think they were handled properly. We secured the scene quickly. We called in the state police. We did our due diligence in getting the things that we needed to do to have this be a solid case all the way through. We called in the state lab to collect evidence, and I believe it was the initial stuff that we started and how we did things that will help bring this to a conclusion. He definitely had to have taken a trophy. The 3 women victims were roommates while Chapin and Kernogle had been dating. All 4 died from stab wounds and were likely asleep at the time of the attack. From their friends, the University of Idaho Dean of Students, Blaine Eccles, said he has heard the victims were full of joy, laughter, love, and fun. It's heartbreaking when lights are extinguished like that. You can see the impact it has on their close friends that have lost someone that is so close to them. Okay, so we know this is not someone named Jason. This is this guy right here. And there are multiple photographs of him online. The reason I wanted to show this again is because it suggests that he was very busy cleaning up his social footprint. He did have a page. It was dedicated to real estate. It had 50 followers, and now it's all been wiped out. There's literally no information on that page at all. This is the arrest warrant, the arrest affidavit. Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus Brian Christopher Kohberger. It was filed early this morning, December the 30th. Arresting Officer Justin Larry. Whoops, sorry about that. Justin Larry. No, maybe that says Lori, Justin Lori. And they give you an incident number for you sleuths out there. He is awaiting extradition. So I thought they had gotten him on the 29th, but no, they got him just a few hours ago. Originating document in like Nancy 1, be like boy 399Z082. They have not given a judge's name just yet. He's been booked and they're awaiting extradition. He's currently in the county correctional facility, which is Monroe County Prison. And that's an Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. Maybe somebody in our channel is from Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, and get some information for us. His date of birth is November the 21st, 1994. And he has been fully denied bail. Thank you, Pennsylvania. Arrest prior to requisition. All right. So there is the charging document. There we go. And here is the research participant. Thank you, Jackie. Hello, my name is Brian, and I'm inviting you to participate in a research project that seeks to understand how emotions and psychological traits influence decision-making when committing a crime. In particular, this study seeks to understand the story behind your most recent criminal offense with an emphasis on your thoughts and feelings throughout your experience. In the event that your most recent offense was not one that led to a conviction, you may still participate. Additional surveys are included after the open-ended section as to best understand your unique traits. The study should take about 15 to 20 minutes to complete. Link to the survey is an anonymous link. This research has been approved by the DeSales University. IRB participants must be 18 years of age or older. If you opt to participate, you may terminate your participation at any time. Anonymous link to the study. What's the date on this? About a year ago. Interesting. The Sales University is a private university in Lehigh County, Pennsylvania. Sales University is a private Catholic university in Center Valley, Pennsylvania. The university offers traditional online and hybrid courses and programs at the undergraduate and graduate levels. It's named for St. Francis de Sales. The university was founded in 1964 as Allentown College of St. Francis de Sales. By the Oblates of St. Francis de Sales, has 6 academic divisions: business, healthcare professions, liberal arts, social sciences, nursing, performing arts, science, and mathematics. It is classified among doctoral professional universities. Was he lying about that? Student faculty ratio is 12-1. The school has 54% of its classes with fewer than 20 students. What? Registered nursing, business administration and management, psychology, accounting, health professions, clinical sciences, drama, criminal justice. There it is. %80 of students receive financial aid. That's a lot. In the 2022 edition of Best Colleges from the U.S. News and World Report, DeSalle's University ranked at 285. Not doing so well. It was ranked 33rd for best colleges for veterans. It's got some notable accreditations for medical training. Salesian Center for Faith and Culture. It's the first center for research and development at DeSales. I think it's DeSales University. On campus, the Salesian Center sponsors annual events for students, including Heritage Week celebration, the Center Valley Forum, the Ruggiero lectures, and the John Paul II Arts and Culture series. So this guy's going to come out being one of these. He's going to end up with a weird religion thing. (163 acres). Residential population of 953. It's really small. Some arts and crafts. Henry Clay Trexler is affiliated with this college. First-year students participate in Character U to facilitate transition to college. Then the athletics. Mascot is a bulldog. DeSales is a private four-year Catholic university for men and women. Offers cross-registration. I don't notice any. Catherine Ramsland is a true crime author. She graduated there. Wow. So Catherine Ramsland, excuse me, Catherine Ramsland is an American nonfiction author and professor of forensic psychology. Ramsland wrote more than 1,000 articles, mostly on crime, forensic science, and the supernatural. She was also a professor of forensic psychology and criminal justice at De Salis University. Ramsland has written on the subjects of serial killers, crime scene investigation, vampires, forensic science, mass murder, sex offenders, and ghosts, and was a regular contributor to Crime Library. Ramsland's best known book, Into the Devil's Den, was New Mexico's Book of the Year in 2008. She had an article in Psychology Today in 2019. I'll get all this looked up and talk. We'll look at all of her stuff. I think it's interesting from looking at his frame of mind, from his point of view, his frame of mind, right? Yeah, it's him. I'm reading a lot of Reddit comments. People are really freaking out. This is probably the beginning of the spiral that led up to the murders. No, he's a criminal justice guy. People are not paying attention to what they're reading. Okay. Yeah, people, if you can see these comments, it's someone who sounds so normal. He doesn't sound normal at all. You'll different PhD now. Yes, he will, Bradley. This is the dude. Let's see what else we've got right here. Hold on, got a link. Man arrested in the Poconos in connection to murders of 4 University of Idaho students. Man, he is a creepy looking guy. Ugh. This is he gives me that feeling, you know what I mean? Hold on, I'll share that link with you. Share. Oh, let's see. Crime Sleuth and put something up. Let me see what I have. Update what? Wait, what is it? Crime Sleuth. Hey, Crime Sleuthin, you can send it to foolsandsages@gmail.com. Let me write it down. Foolsandsages@gmail.com. Did I spell that right? I can't see. Foolsandsages@gmail.com with Z's. Yeah, I think he's a psychopath, Jackie, just looking at his facial expression. He looks pretty look at his eye, look at it, the peculiar. Yeah, he's really detached. No anger, just sort of a just a kind of stoic curiosity, right? He's not flustered. This is not, look at the muscles in his face. This man is not upset. Wow. He's a psychopath. I'll tell you what else I'm thinking. I'm sitting here looking and I'm thinking, who else have you killed there, buddy? Let's do a deep dive into other stabbings. Okay, this information is wrong. That's being reported here by ABC6. We know that this information is wrong. This must be one of the first news articles to come out. This is incorrect. He was stopped in his car and he was taken into custody by the Pennsylvania State Police and local police. The FBI was not involved in the arrest, was not involved. Now, it's possible, I would guess, the SWAT team went into his house after, but now the reporting coming out now is saying, no, he was stopped in his car. He appeared for a judge on Friday morning. Court documents showed the judge ordered extradition to Idaho and will get a Moscow Police Department news conference at 4 Eastern today. Investigators believe someone has information that adds context. They knew who he was. They were watching him. Okay, so okay. Let me check my email. Thank you, Crime Sleuth. And let me pull up my email. Okay, let's see. Something about Donna. What about Donna matches what we're talking about? I don't know what that's about. Let's see. Gmail. And I'm going to go to my Fools and Sages account. Crime Sleuth, and I still don't have anything from you yet. Let me check and see if it went to the wrong. Spam. Nope. I don't have anything from you, Crime Sleuthing. Nothing there. Nope, don't have anything yet. Crime Sleuthing, if you're still here, I'm not seeing anything that you've emailed. Who is Donna? That's the Reverend Donna Serafina. Haven't sent yet. Sitting here shaking. One of these is really bad. You may not want to show it. I'll look at them, Crime Sleuthing, before I put them up. I'm sorry that you're upset. I don't know, Pam. Like I said at the beginning of this, hey, Nancy Drew. I don't know. It looks like to me, and Crime Sleuthing she's a great researcher. She can probably speak to this too, but it looks like to me what I've been able to find this morning so far, he had a social media presence at one time, and it looks like to me he's been really busy cleaning it up. I don't know if he had an idea they were coming. I don't know if he cleaned it up before the crime was committed, the murders. I'm not sure, but he's definitely got. There's definitely evidence out there that he erased a lot of information. Hey, Teresa. No, I think he's probably killed people. One thing I would wonder now is to go back to the Washington and Oregon. Was it Oregon? No, Washington and Idaho murders. Yeah, I'm waiting on Crime Sleuthing to send a link, but the information that she's found is uncomfortable. It is Crime Sleuthing. We may want to go ahead and at least get it recorded. They may try to take it down, so I'm not finding what it is that you're looking at. Thank you, Sandra. I do too, Afro. Thank you, Crime. Y'all need to thank Crime Sleuthing. She's a great researcher. Yeah, I've been sick a long time now. DeSantis Kohberger was advertising on Reddit. Yes, St. Elmo's. We just went through that. Thank you, Tootie. Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up and record it, so we'll have a recording at least, on StreamYard. I'm convinced that he erased things that he could erase. Bang Bang, welcome. Golly, it's been a long time since I saw you. I'm just waiting on Crime Sleuthing's email, y'all. All right. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Okay. What's his wow. And he's being that's interesting because he's being chastised. So he leaves a message, and I'm putting 100% confidence in Crime Sleuthing that she's got the right that this is being posted by the guy. Okay, so she's a great researcher. I'm sure she's done her due diligence. I have not. I'm going 100% by what she said. So he leaves a post and it says, and what a strange name. I dislike homonyms. I dislike homonyms. I wonder about that. Would suggest a thought Okay, what can you tell us of a time when you had to commit a crime out of sheer necessity? For example, you were between a rock and a hard place, or you took up drug trafficking so you could pay off your student loans or relatives' medical bills. Did you manage to successfully pay them off? If you got caught before they could be paid off, what happened to those debts and what alternative arrangements did you make for them? And how did they catch you in the act? Moreover, did the reason for the crime being out of necessity mitigate the charges? That's bizarre. That was posted a year ago, December 7th, 2021. And he was chastised. This space does not exist for your entertainment. To romanticize your notions of crime and criminality. Leave. Interesting. Weird. So in one of the posts, this person is on a like Idaho 4 bulletin board, and he describes the crime scene, and then he ends it by saying, "I'm hiding in the woods in shithole Pennsylvania. Good luck catching me." And that was posted December the 12th, 2022. And then finally, there's a scariest inmate in California. Not me, but a friend who did 9 years for armed robbery who got out 4 years ago. He went into a bank, robbed the bankers at gunpoint, was caught, and then sent to prison. He stayed at the California Correctional Institute during his sentence and recalled what he thought was by far the scariest man locked up where he was at. For this story, I'll call my friend A. A told me of a man who was 6 feet 8 inches tall, 267 pounds, 27-year-old bald dude. At the time, A first got there and was serving 25 years in prison. For this story, I'll call the man B. B was, from what he described, a very scary dude. He was violent, hostile towards correctional officers and other prisoners if they messed with him, and was extremely hard to control. He would take 5 members of the goon squad to restrain this man. B took a liking to A and became sort of friends during that time. A told me how B was locked up for attempted murder 15 years ago today. He shot a guy in the chest, nearly killed him, and was sent to prison to serve a 25-year sentence. A told me how even the correctional officers, especially the new and young ones, were frightened of B. He committed low-level offenses, misdemeanors in prison, having too many supplies, contraband, unauthorized areas, etc. They would just leave B alone. Only when he committed a prison felony would they confront him. And even when they would send 10 men, half confronting B and the other half standing guard to make sure he was contained. B warmed up to A and told him how he went on the life of crime, getting caught in drugs, specifically cocaine and heroin, and needing money for his addiction. He attempted to rob a guy for money, and when the guy started running, B shot him in the chest. No prisoner on the compound even thought of messing with B. All the other men were absolutely terrified of this big man and did not dare piss him off. There was one time A told me the one dude angered B, and B literally grabbed his arm and pulled at once, dislocating the entire arm in one pull. Whenever B was sent to the hole, he was locked in reinforced thick steel cells because they were afraid he would break out. B is still locked up today and has about 10 years left to serve. That's a fantasy. Sounds like a guy you want to have on your good side. There are some hard-ass MFers in prison, some of the hardest I've ever seen. Guys will rip your eye out and eat it. Yeah, that's fantasy. That's a fantasy post. Huh. All right. Okay, big ups. Hey, yeah, I've been sick. Thank you so much. Yeah, we got 3 hours until the people commented that he was weird. Yeah, it does sound strange. So he's going to turn out he's got delusions of grandeur. He's probably got a religious problem. When police say to the community not to worry and it's random, don't believe them. Nancy Drew, thank you for saying that. I had that same reaction when Abby and Libby were killed in Delphi. That was so random and bizarre for the cops to tell this small town, don't worry, you have nothing to worry about. Hold on a damn minute. You've got 2 kids murdered in broad daylight. You have no idea who did it. What right do you have to tell a community not to worry? If you were really doing your job, you would tell people to secure their homes, to travel together, to make sure that your house was well lit, to keep your eye out for strangers in the neighborhood, right? And the same exact thing happened in Moscow. They jump up, they say, no, there's not a problem. Everything, you're safe. You have no idea if anybody was safe. You've got dogs that are being scalped. You don't know. What do you mean you're safe? No, you weren't safe. It turns out this sicko who's going to turn out to be a guy with serious mental problems, mark my word, he's running the streets. He drove across the country 2,200 miles to do this. So, the cops need to, everybody needs to get together and to make a decision. How are we going to handle this when we get these kinds of problems in our community? Let's do our jobs and actually give our community good instruction on being safe. Yeah, he's detached. He looks empty. Yep, you'll see the same kind of thing in Ted Bundy's photographs. Also, Manson had that same look. Or a shark. You can look in the eyes of a shark and see the same phenomenon. This guy's getting a PhD in criminology. Well, so in terms of the whole criminology thing, he probably is already engaging in lots of murder fantasy, right? The pursuit of that PhD it's just a reflection of his delusions. Was he using his email address from Washington State? Is that the one that you used, Crime Sleuthin? Yeah, we read that earlier. Yeah, I know, Crime. Yeah, I'm not going to read that, but I know what you're talking about. It just, ugh. Yeah, I think they must have known. Well, you know what, Big Ups? Do you remember Chris Watts? He Googled something like, what does it feel like to be in love? Or how does it feel when someone says I love you? Do y'all remember that? So that's kind of soul searching information pursuit that you'll see from psychopaths. They recognize that something's not connecting. They know other people are they can watch other people and they can see that other people are having emotional lives. They don't have that. They don't feel that. Let me hold on a second. Here's another photo of the guy. This one's off of the university website. So you tell me, we looked at his booking picture. We looked at a booking photo of him. We looked at a photo of him when he's just out and about. And now you're looking at this one. Does he look any different in any of them? No, he's not different because his emotions don't change. So that's the university PhD picture. Let me find the other one. Hold on. He's 28 years old. And yes, I know there's some places that are saying that he's 25 and 22. No, he is 28. The FBI was not involved in the arrest. Here is his Spotify. Oops. Doesn't look any different, does it? No difference, the emotion. And then I was going to go to his booking photo. See, he's cleaned up his whole SoundCloud. And come on. Oh, it's very slow. Oh, Brian. Let's see if they've got his booking photo. Yep, here it is. They're now beginning to get his picture out. We had it a bit earlier, but now the word's getting out. All right, so I'll share this with you. Hold on. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a monster right here, y'all. He's a monster. Share. Yep, he's the real deal. There's this booking. Now tell me, do you notice any change in his emotion? So isn't that interesting? When you look at the three photos together, isn't it interesting that there's no change in emotion? Yeah, if he was cleaning up his post. No, I believe when they came out and said, we're looking for the white Elantra, I think that was that was the sign that he had been caught. And so they'll do that because they want to watch the reaction. Like he was probably already under surveillance when they came out and said, we're looking for the white Elantra, to see what his next move would be, to see what he would do, where he would go, would he reach out to people, would he talk to people. So yeah, and apparently he was hiding in the woods. So very, that's kind of interesting too, right? All right. It's a suicide vest, Martin. Call it a turtle suit. Yeah. So again, this is really kind of, part of what I do, right? And that is that to point out, pay attention to the photos of this guy. There's no difference in his demeanor. There is no change in him emotionally at all. I put up 3 or 4 photos of him. He has the same detached, dark emptiness. There's no, it's palpable. Like you see that there's something different about him. So he's done, this isn't his first one. This is not the first crime he's committed. I promise you. They're going to end up, I believe, they're probably going to end up, it is likely he will be connected to the husband and wife that were stabbed. Wow, that is so strange that I'm getting all these notifications from news organizations that are now reporting what we've been talking about for an hour. Isn't that odd? Very, very strange that we were on this so fast. Okay, so this is the guy. This is the guy. His booking photograph, and you can look at him and see what he looks like. I'm going to now show you his SoundCloud picture, and I want you to take notice. I want you to take notice of his appearance. Does he look like he's distressed, or is it the same guy every time? And I guess that's a happy face. There's no way of knowing if it's a happy face, and here's how to do that. Take your hand and cover up the bottom part so you only see half of his nose and his eyes. And try to judge an emotion. And then after you do that, then cover up the eyes and the top half of his nose. So all you see is his mouth and his nostrils. And see, thank you so much. It's hot. Thank you. Okay, I'm good. I'll take care of it. Stop. Quit. No, stop. And then look at the bottom half and see, can you see emotion in either one? And if you can't match the bottom half to the top half, that's a pretty good sign it's a psychopath. And then we have another photo of him. Let me find it. Hold on. Where's the link? There it is. And this one is interesting because he's trying to smile. He's making an attempt to smile. But it's hard when you look at it, you're wondering, wait a minute, is he angry? Or is he smiling? Or like what is that? And do the same exact thing. Cover the bottom part of the face and look at just his eyes and see if you detect any kind of an emotion. And then cover the top half of his face, look at the mouth and the nose. Is there a disconnect? Or are they the same? I'm telling y'all, I have zero doubt. He's a monster. He's narcissistic. He's having delusions of grandeur. He's probably got a serious religiosity problem. Yeah, he's convinced himself that he's the greatest. He's the most evil man that ever lived, and that he is not going to get caught. And that if he is caught, then he'll be the kind of guy that legends are made of, right? That people will write books about him, and that he'll be the greatest criminal that ever lived, the most sadistic, awful. They'll do a mini series about him like they did with Dahmer and Bundy, and he'll have a great, actor who's going to play the role. He's already lived all this in his head. So what do y'all think about such a waste, pickups. Such devastating. It's just, when you think about Jack D, you think about some incel getting its feelings hurt. At least there's a at least I don't say it's a good reason. I'm not saying it makes it okay. Don't get me wrong. But it's understandable on some level, right? That it's that somehow, let's say, just for conversation's sake, let's say it had been an ex-boyfriend who had gotten angry, lost control of his emotions, and did this horrible nightmare. It's human, isn't it? It's human. It's you can see it. You can see that situation happening. But a bastard like this, cold, creepy, no emotion, self-obsessed, not living this fantasy life. He's just a creepazoid. He's just a monster. And it makes it so much worse. This girl, Kaylee, knew she was being tracked. She knew she was being watched. She knew it. Xana asked for locks. Her dad came and added locks. They knew. And yet, if you go to the cops and you try to report and say, hey, I got a creep online that's talking about me, 7 days a week, every single day. I got a creepy lady who doesn't ever quit talking about me. If you go and try to tell cops and ask for help, you're disregarded. This picture that you're looking at now, this is from his university website. This is the PhD photo. Yeah, he's a really big guy, Nancy. He's strong. Well, I wondered if we pull up, let's see, if we pull up the Corner Club. Okay, everybody's been trying to make the case that this guy in the Corner Club photo, that this was Jack D. He doesn't look like Jack D to me. Hold on, I'm going to share it with you. Hold on. The guy in the Corner Club photo doesn't look like Jack D. I know a lot of people they believe that. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just giving what my initial thoughts were. Okay. All right, so here's the picture. So many people want to say that that's Jack D. I don't know. I don't feel like it is. Maybe it is. But was this the guy? And maybe it is Jack D. I don't know. What do y'all think? This guy right here, there's been a lot of conversation about him. This is the owner of the bar, y'all. He owns the joint. This guy looks way too old to be Jack D. Don't y'all think he looks too old to be Jack? What's y'all opinion? Yeah, but it's just the Moscow hat. It wasn't like an unusual one. I don't think he's large enough to be Joe. You think it was Photoshop, Cinnamon? Yeah, I didn't see that either, Sandra. When I look at that, that looks like an older man to me. Dylan White and Jason Elkins. I don't know. When I look at this picture, it just seems like it could be the guy who grew a beard, right, and then shaved it. I'm sorry about the sound. I'm drinking chamomile tea right now. One of the questions that I had was, why would Jack be smiling so big and friendly in the bar, but then, an hour or two later when Kaylee is begging him to talk to her, he's refusing to answer phone calls? That doesn't make sense to me. No, I think this guy might actually be the perpetrator. I think it might actually be him. Let me see if I can find another photograph. I think he's definitely been busy cleaning things up. Here's a Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology. So let me show you this picture. It's the different one here. Remember this, what you're looking at, and imagine, a clean shaven face here, right? And his nose kind of seems off-centered a little. It's a terrible picture, don't get me wrong. He does seem to be, looking at her. She's standing back away from him. But then look at this picture. Present. All right. So here's a different picture. And imagine this guy right here with that beard. Ah! I hate when I do that. Shoot. Okay, y'all are still on the right page. I'm the one that got off on the wrong page. Okay. All right. So imagine if this guy had a beard. It could look a bit like Jack, right? A little bit. Maybe not a lot, but a little bit. I mean, this guy, it's painful to look at him. Ooh, he just looks so uncomfortable. Oh, this was going to come with some stories, y'all. This guy's going to turn out to be a bad dude. Yes, this was before his broken nose, wasn't it? Oh, what happened to his picture? Yeah, this was before the broken nose. So tell us something, Brian. How did your nose get broken? Interesting. I don't know. Okay, here's a Harrisburg, Pennsylvania report. Authorities in Pennsylvania arrested a suspect in the killings of 4 University of Idaho students who were found stabbed to death in their beds more than a month ago. Arrest paperwork filed in Monroe County Court said Brian Christopher Kohberger, 28, was being held for extradition to Idaho on a warrant for first-degree murder. Law enforcement official confirmed the arrest to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity because the official could not publicly discuss details of the investigation ahead of a formal announcement expected later on Friday. A PhD student by the same name is listed in the Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology at Washington State University, which is a short drive across the state line from the University of Idaho. Messages seeking more information were left for officials at WSU. Looks like they cleaned up the information about, raiding the house and what did they say? FBI. So they took all that out because that was inaccurate. That wasn't true. Initially, law enforcement was mystified by the murders of the Idaho Four. The case broke open after law enforcement asked the public for help in finding a white sedan seen near the home around the time of the killings. The police department made the request on December 7th. But the next day, they had direct tips to a special FBI call center. Goncalves, oh, wait a minute. for all members of the university Greek system. The autopsy showed that all four were likely asleep when they were attacked. Some had defensive wounds, and they were all stabbed multiple times. Right, so I don't see any new information here. Kohberger, here we go. Kohberger was arrested in Monroe County, located in eastern Pennsylvania in the Pocono Mountains. The county seat, Strasburg, is about 100 miles north of Philadelphia. Boone reported from Boise, Idaho, and Balsamo reported from Washington. News researcher, blah, blah, blah. All right. Somebody says, you have automatically assumed he is guilty. He's just a suspect, doesn't mean he's guilty. As we don't know what evidence there is, if any, there could be a rush arrest on very little evidence. Well, okay, James, I'll tell you this. There are some posts that were left, and the guy says, he describes the crime scene, and it is absolutely horrendous. He describes the crime scene, and then he says, right now, I'm hanging out in a shithole in Pennsylvania. So, pretty sure they got the guy. Yes, he was a student. No, he's a PhD student. I think he's on the run. Morning, critters. Welcome, my friend. One source is reporting he was previously employed as a security officer. I've not seen that. I'll keep looking. I have a Twitter crime sleuthing. I think it's the guy in the bar, St. Elmo. Yeah, homicidal legend in his own mind. Yeah, that's right. Apparently, he wanted to see what it was like to kill someone. He had a lot of fantasy life related to frightening criminals and things like that. Yeah, the more I look at this corner club photo, the more it feels like this is the guy. I think he's the guy in the bar. I don't want to add an existing account. I want to go to my homepage. Why is it doing that? All right. Okay, everybody. No. Elon has messed me up. Matthew Edgar and Idaho suspect caught. Good end. Yep. Agreed, Nerdy Grinch. Yeah, I gotta quit reading because I know y'all are sitting there waiting for me to say something. Sorry about that. All right, people. Okay. All right, everybody. Yes, we did look at the PhD research questionnaire. I have some questions about it. I don't know that was really his project. I think he may have just been like trolling online. It had some requirements for the IRB informed. I don't know. I'm gonna look at it deeper and see what it is. But I'm gonna get to work on it and kind of see what I can put together and figure out. And then I'll be back later on. Obviously, we have a press conference at 4:00 Eastern. That's 3:00 Texas time. And then I will probably be back live after the. I may go ahead and stream the press conference actually. So we'll see. But the takeaway, I think my contribution or unique contribution that I can give to this is just what I commented on by paying attention to the photographs of this guy. You can't read him. He's showing no emotion. And so, that is really consistent with psychopathy. So I think he also some of his posts that he's left online, some of the writings, he's got some delusions of grandeur, probably got some religious problems. I'm talking about overly religious, Definitely grandiosity. Definitely delusions of greatness. No question about that. Martin, guess what? This is just me addressing Martin. So thanks everybody for being here. Appreciate it. Y'all are awesome. I'll probably stream the live stream, the press conference, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. I'll put a link up. Anybody that wants to come up and talk afterwards, that kind of thing. All right. Apparently, while in custody, he asked, were there any other arrests? So are they suggesting that maybe there were more than one person involved, Martin? Right? That's kind of what it sounds like to me. If he's asking, have there been any other arrests? Like maybe there was a group of them. I will, Sandra. I'm drinking chamomile tea right now. Also, Martin, you're not going to believe this. So I don't know how much you know about, don't know. Yeah. Well, I'll look for that. But let me tell you what happened, Martin. I don't know how familiar you are with Colorado, but if you go to Aspen, the areas for skiing are broken down into different little mountains, right? And so there's Buttermilk, which is the slopes at Buttermilk. There's a lot more green slopes at Buttermilk than others. There's Snow Mass, which is kind of like a normal distribution, probably more heavily blue, I guess. And then there's Highlands, which is, really accomplished skiers are on Highlands. But Buttermilk is where they're doing the X Games. I think it's this week. Maybe it'll be next week. And so, we went over there. There were people that were practicing and whatnot. And we had a big group of people that were skiing. And so I'm sitting inside, Martin, and I look up, and guess who is across the room from me? Yes, absolutely him. No doubt in my mind whatsoever. So he's vacationing in Aspen, and he had 2 women with him. I think one was his sister. The other woman had these enormous black glasses on, which was just weird because we were inside of a restaurant. But the more I think about it, the more I think maybe it was Shoho. I don't know. Oh yeah, totally. Yes. And you got to remember that, we were face to face, not 15, 20 feet apart in the courtroom. He made dead eye contact with me. I mean, oh yeah. And so when I looked up, I had seen him earlier, like walk into the cafeteria area, and I thought, gosh, that guy looks similar, And so then I went on in my conversation. We were talking about a snowboarder, and we were watching. And then I turned back around and looked, and he caught my attention because he was staring at me. And I thought, that is this. And so I told my husband was sitting with me. And I told him, I said, just don't look over there right now, but look directly across about 4 tables over. And I said, that is him. And he said, are you sure? I said, I am 100% absolutely certain. And he definitely notices me. And so I looked back up toward the thing, and my husband leaned close, and he said, the whole table is watching us. And so I looked back over, and that's when I noticed that the other lady that had her back to me, that was actually one of his sisters. So, yeah. So he's living his life. He's being a happy guy. Yep. Sure as hell is. Vacationing in Aspen. Yeah. It was pretty sad. Very well. Yeah. Pretty creepy, Diane. But the creepy factor, I think okay, so the moment where the creepiness was the worst is when the detective was on the witness stand and was talking about what Barry had said to him, the conversation that they were having. And Barry is describing to him a YouTube channel that he listens to, and what the person is saying on the YouTube channel, and it was actually me. So that was probably one of my biggest. That was a weird moment. That was a really strange, pretty awful moment, really. And I think it was. When I walked into the courtroom, you could see the recognition in his eyes, right? You could see the recognition. Like when he looked at me, he recognized who I was. He kept looking over. But that was pretty unnerving to realize that he really, I always assume, listen, y'all, I always assume that these crimes, these criminals that we're talking about, that they're watching. I think because of people being who they are, if someone is either involved in a crime or they're accused of a crime, they become hungry for information. They feel they want to be inside the loop. They want to know what people are saying about them and what information could be leaked. So in the same interest that you have, imagine if you're the perpetrator. Well, aren't you going to be interested what the YouTube, TikTok, Instagram people are all talking about? So they do watch. Johnny Depp admitted in court on the stand that he's a big watcher of YouTube. He follows all the channels that were covering the case, the trial. So I always assume that they're watching. Like I knew the Delphi killer was watching. I had no doubt in my mind about that. But there was something. I think for me, when the detective was on the stand and he was talking about the conversation with Barry and what Barry had said about the YouTube channel that he was watching, I think for me, that was the moment that I realized we are influencing these killers. When we're going live and we're talking, we have a lot of, we could be unwittingly affecting how they behave and what they do. And so that was kind of I was really uncomfortable with the whole thing. I didn't like it. It was scary to think that he knew that much about me. And then of course, then you turn it around and go, well, hell, everything there's to know about him, right? That's got to be kind of weird too from his perspective. So why wouldn't he seek out information for the people that were covering the case? I don't know. It's really uncomfortable, but being there, my first reaction, Martin, was, wow, imagine the coincidence of this, right? That was the first thing. But then when my husband said, they recognize you, he is always minimizing things. He doesn't. So when he said that, then I realized that no, it was definitely, there's no question it was him. He definitely knew who I was. His sister knew who I was. Why wouldn't she? We were in the courtroom at the same time. So yeah, but it's a weird thing. Right, Cinnamon? He's really creeped out. Really, yeah. But it's what we do, And you look at what happened, like with Summer Wells' case. That case will never be able to be prosecuted. In my opinion, because so much of what should have been interrogation played out on YouTube. And I do think that we need to be careful. And what about, this is something else too that I haven't talked about. What about the college professor that is suing the tarot card reader? Here's another weird coincidence, y'all. So strange. So JLR came out with a video. He had found where this woman had been evicted in May of 2022. She's from Houston. The tarot card reader is from Houston. And so he says that if you look it up at the documents, it said something like Metro at Greenwood. And I said, Metro at Greenwood? No. Those are apartments down there. And the reason I know the damn apartments is because I went with someone who was thinking about renting one of them. And so I had just gone just to look with my friend, just, hey, I'm going to look apartments. You ought to come with me. It's down in the Galleria area, super nice, apartments owned by this 90-year-old, I'm serious, this 90-year-old man who sits in the lobby and eats chocolates every day and watches people come in and out. And it is an internal entrance Like you have to go into the apartment buildings before you can get in your room, like a hotel would be. And they're, you know, they're small, but they're really high end, really, you know, marble kitchens and all that, but very small. But the main thing is that in the center where the courthouse is, like a court yard is, they've got like various places that you can barbecue, and they've got a central swimming pool with a couple of little extra pools. And what I noticed when I was walking through that day, I remember thinking, wow, it's all young people. Like every single person I saw there looked like they were like in their young, you know, 20s, maybe early 30s. It just seemed odd that there was no, they were all the same age, right? It was weird. And so I remember thinking at the time that we walked through and looked at them, he got the tour and everything. I remember thinking, this looks like maybe medical students, right? That's kind of what I thought. And I said that to my friend. I said, you know, this doesn't look, that y'all are not going to find any friends here. These are all very young people living here. So, hey, Heidi. Oh yeah, his little he's a pretty horrible creature. Yeah. Yep. And he did, Critters is right about that. So the last interview that the sheriff did, he looked happy and a bit smug, didn't he? So they knew who they were going after. Yep. And again, don't forget. Yes, this TikTok idiot. It's just unbelievable, right? So I'm glad I support the professor 100%. And, you know, all I can say is go, you know, get her, let her have it. It's, the crap she's saying is just craziness, absolute craziness. So here, I'm going to end with this, okay? Today is the memorial service for Maddy Mogen and Kaylee Goncalves. The family of Kaylee said, we're not going to bury her until we have an arrest. And they arrested him at 2:30 this morning. So all we can say is keep these 4 families in your prayers. And just today for the memorial service, just, I hope this gives them peace. I hope that the memorial service and the arrest can provide some foundation for healing. They have been being driven by a great deal of emotion, intense emotion. There's a great deal of anger. Steve Goncalves is being driven by this need to protect his daughter. If you listen to him, he talks about her in the present tense. There will be a very difficult time of healing that's coming for them when the intensity of the search and the hunt is done. So they, more than ever, I think now, they definitely need prayers that they can find some peace, that they can find some resolution, and for a period of time, just take care of their physical health. You know, just find time to rest and just wait and give the body and the brain time to heal. I just can't imagine. It's a nightmare. It turned out the guy's, you know, a psychopath. Just the way people talked about in the beginning that this was going to turn out to be. And everybody said, no, it's one of their friends. It's a boyfriend. Is it? And I went through and I looked, well, you know, it could be Showalter. He's the last guy known with them. Could be Decor. He's got a lot of reason. But you can't ignore the dog. Remember, Buddy? You can't ignore Buddy. You can't ignore the timing of the Dahmer series. And I've said it before at the very beginning of this, when I first began discussing this, my fears that these documentaries, these real life stories that make the visual and auditory so real, my fears that it would trigger someone who was emotionally unstable, someone that had these delusions, that they might be triggered to act out. And it does seem, I think that will be the story. I think this guy is troubled. I think he's been troubled. I think he has a psychopathic type of problem where he's not processing emotion accurately. And he has delusions of greatness. He's narcissistic. And it will turn out that he was trying to be another Dahmer, another Bundy. He in his mind, he thinks he's it. So that's why I chose to use this visual today. I believe that the Dahmer series was a trigger for madness, and that when it all comes out, Buddy's death was a part of what happened. All right, everybody. I will see y'all this afternoon. Thank y'all so much for being here with me. If you'd like to subscribe, I would appreciate it. A thumbs up would help the algorithm. And as always, I'd really appreciate a comment under the video. Y'all have a good morning. Bye. Or afternoon. We're in afternoon now. See you later. Bye.